As you probably recall, we've been trying to track down a prophecy that's credited to St. Hildegard of Bingen. As you may recall, the prophecy involves a comet striking off the coast of either the United States or of England, submerging the coastlines and causing many deaths. I started researching this on my own, and I got a bit suspicious because this prophecy didn't have much of a footprint. Nobody provided their sources. So I started reading her books on prophecy, but I couldn't find any mention of it. The earliest mention of it that I could find was by Yves Dupont in his book from the 1970s called Catholic Prophecy. After my last video on the subject, I started doing what I probably should have done in the first place. I sent some emails to people who are experts on St. Hildegard of Bingen. I sent an email to Nathaniel M. Campbell. He's a medievalist and an adjunct college instructor who is currently teaching the roots of civilization and religion and empire in the liberal arts core as well as Latin at Union College in Barberville, Kentucky. His research includes medieval theologies of history, text-image relationships in medieval visionary and mystical texts, and of course, the writings of St. Hildegard of Bingen. He's also a translator of medieval Latin and German texts. He has a master's in medieval studies at the University of Notre Dame, a Fulbright Fellowship in Germany, and a Bachelor of Arts in Classics in German at Boston College. In my email to him, I told him I have a YouTube channel and I've been devoting a couple installments to tracking down a purported vision of St. Hildegard of Bingen, that a comet would strike the coastline of the United States or England and submerge the coastlines. And I explained that the text of the vision is on many YouTube sites and internet sites. And I told him that I couldn't find the vision in any of St. Hildegard's works. I told him that I suspected that this is an urban legend, and I asked him whether he ever came across it. And he responded, "That's a pretty easy one to answer. Nowhere does St. Hildegard ever discuss a comet or any other celestial object hitting the earth, although she does have a general sense that the environment responds to our sins by rebelling with storms or drought, or our holiness by blooming verdant and fertile. But she never prophesizes specific environmental disasters. The closest she comes is in the last vision of the Book of Divine Works." So I asked Nathaniel whether I could quote him. He responded, "Absolutely you can quote me. I'm always happy to help with inquiries like these, as there's a lot of stuff that floats around the internet as attributed to St. Hildegard that has no relation whatsoever to her authentic writings." So, it seems that the vision of St. Hildegard and the comet is just an urban legend. The only thing that we really haven't tracked down with certainty is the source of this urban legend. It could have been either Yves Dupont or perhaps his cited source, J. Johannes, whose book is now out of print and isn't available. Please note that I'm not saying that a celestial event won't ever happen. I can't know that. But I'm only saying that it wasn't prophesied by St. Hildegard of Bingen.
Urban legends have been told for centuries, but in an age of big cities and mass media, they've attained a new prominence in our culture. But are they mostly true, or just popular rumors?
What is urban legend?
Contemporary folklore passed on as a true story. This is what we call an urban legend.